without a balance, we'll never have work-life balance. I think someone said work-life integration,
Yes, I've
and
heard,
that
yes,
I love
absolutely.
that.
Welcome to another episode of the Building Well podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Mago, founder of Ahadi Creations, providing brand and website design and business consulting for female founders. This podcast is full of candid conversations with female entrepreneurs with the aim of sharing insights from their journeys while encouraging you to stay on yours. Let's dive in. Well, to get the conversation started, can you introduce yourself and let us know what you do and who you help?
Sure. I'm Jessie Hemmelgarn. I'm the founder and creative director of Wonderline Creative. And I'm a creative strategist, which most people are like, what the heck does that even mean? That's like my biggest obstacle. Is it something new in the market? So basically, what I like to say is I help people and businesses overcome obstacles through creative collaboration and innovative thinking. And every business is a little different. So we're not a one size fits all agency. We don't come in and say, here's our plan for social media or here's our plan for a website. We kind of sit down and talk to you and say, what are your goals? And then we work backwards and try to figure out how do we get to those goals in a realistic and attainable way. Look, we're all business owners. We could be doing all the things, right? We could be posting on social and on LinkedIn and on our website, and it's not realistic. Like if you go to my Instagram, you're more than welcome to, but I do not post on there. I'm so bad about it. I just can't handle all the stuff. And so we spend a lot of time thinking about what you need, how do we get there and working backwards. So that's a
Mhm.
little bit about us and what we do. But
Okay.
we don't, a lot of people are like, I still don't get it. And I have to kind of sit down and talk to them one on one about what their obstacles are. And then something clicks for them.
Okay. Okay. So, how do you find most of your clients?
We are referral based. So a lot
Okay.
of it is references and then networking. That's where almost all my clients come from. I am a mom of two kids, and I spend a lot of time being really strategic about who I take on as clients. And I
Yes.
have a smaller client roster for that reason because my kids are little and they're only little once. That's why I started this company, is to be able to do all those things with them. And so I really am strategic about who I can help and how I can help you, and if it's not me, then I'll help you find someone that helps you. I want everyone to succeed. And
Likewise.
I don't ever stop, which is kind of bad. I sprinkle out ideas like confetti. So I'll be like at a coffee shop and be like, "Hey, I heard your obstacle. Here's an idea. Take it, leave it. Bye. Nice to meet you."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I can't stop them. So I'm happy to help people however I can.
Yeah. And I agree with that. And it's actually coming up a lot recently, like as in this week, about not just taking on anyone, being strategic on who you take, because even with some of the connect calls that I had this week, everyone doesn't do that. Some people just take whatever. Like I had one person reach out who needed a website. And I asked, okay, well, what are your services to make sure we'll be a good fit for each other? And then she was like, wait, I thought you do branding and websites. And I'm like, yes, I do. But I don't just take on anyone who just drops out of nowhere and be like,
Yeah,
hey, do my
yeah.
website. But I think it's very important. Like you have to acknowledge, especially if you're a mom or you have certain morals you're trying to protect or just, a reputation you're trying to build. You're not just going to take on anyone because it's creating your branding basically by taking certain jobs for sure.
It's a hard lesson to learn. It took me a while to get
Okay.
there. I
Hmm.
started like, I'm like, "Sure, I started in video production, so I made a really big shift and pivot to creative strategy. I still do video production for the right client and the people that need it. Um, and we do some specialized, like, 360 video production, but that's only for the right people at the right time. But I had clients want some more strategic, and that's kind of where I shifted. And I think at first I was like, "Sure, I'll do this for you or you or you." But then it doesn't help them if you're not
Yes.
the right fit, and it doesn't
Yep.
help you either. So
Yep.
I've really had to learn like, "Hey, maybe we're not the right fit and maybe I'll pass you on to the right person."
Exactly. Yeah. And even if like the project is fun, maybe you don't vibe with the person because
Oh, yeah, that's
depending
hard.
yeah, and it does depend on like the scale of the work you do because some people aren't long term, some is just quick and they don't have to necessarily deal with the person long term. I get that. But if you're dealing with the person for a few weeks or a few months, definitely retainer stuff. We have to be getting along because you don't want that weird energy all the time. Like that's just awkward. You don't want to dread the calls with the person.
And everyone has a different workflow. So it doesn't even mean that like you don't vibe. It's just they work differently. Like I'm a
That's true.
type A planner. I was
Mhm.
a former high school teacher. I teach college for fun. Like I'm a here's the like here's what we're gonna plan out and do. And some people are like, hey, we're gonna do stuff like more last minute because that's when their creativity strikes. And it doesn't make it wrong. It just means that we aren't maybe the best mesh.
Yes.
And so I have a client guide at the beginning that I sent out after finding some clients who, hey, we just have different workflows. And I'm like, this is who we are as a business. We are all about intention. And that means I don't put out fires. I plan ahead so you don't have fires. So that's how we work and that's how we function. And yeah, well, you need a last minute meeting sometimes. Can we make those exceptions? Sure. But like, I always send that to people before they sign on so they understand that myself and any contractors I work with are not going to just run around putting out fires. We're going to plan ahead, get you what you need, and then kind of works strategically from that way.
Absolutely. I'm the same, very type A.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we don't
think you have to be
yeah.
a little bit, right?
Yes. And especially I think I'm not saying that single or people who don't have children are not this way, but when you also have serious responsibilities, you can't be running around putting out people's fire. Like, no, I'm
Mm-mm.
gonna need this at this day. So, and of course, things come up. Yes, emergencies happen to everyone, but not just because, like, yeah. Mm.
I live and die by my iPhone calendar. Like, if it is
Yes,
not in my iPhone calendar, it didn't exist. It didn't happen. That's the only way I survive is like trying to plan. I
same.
even block off time and I'm like, this is when you're going to work on this project.
Yep, yep,
Because I have ADHD, so I can get really distracted by
yep.
all the ideas in my head. So I use Notion, which is like a really fun. Do you use Notion?
I live in Notion.
Ah,
You're
I
like
love it.
you're like my person.
I know we have so much in
Yes.
common.
I'm literally in Notion every day, all day.
It's
I
so
even have a
cool.
gardening database in Notion. You
Oh,
get one.
oh
You
yeah,
make
I'm
one.
gonna do that. Notion is great because like I have these ideas, but I don't know how to like put it on the blank workspace.
Okay,
And
okay, got
it's
it.
wonderful because the AI will do it for you.
Yeah,
And you're
yeah,
like,
you can use
hey,
it too. Yeah.
I need this. I showed it to some colleagues because we were working on a project. And I'm like, I'm going to build our project manager. And they're very different. And I was like, I will find one that works for all of us. Trust
Yes.
me. And I made the Notion and it like can take the data and move it in different ways because I
Yep.
have one colleague that wants like a swim lane. She wants to
Mhm.
see everything
The
across
board
one
view.
page. Yes.
Mhm.
And then I have someone else that wants a different view. He likes a
Yes.
checklist. And so you can adjust and adapt. I love
Yeah.
Notion. It is
Yeah.
so great.
I just saw a thread, I recently joined Threads, and one person was like, "I hate Notion." And then, some of the comments were like, "Yeah, it's too much blank space." It's definitely different personality types. That was clear within those comments. But they also don't know about the AI. Like, and all I commented was, well, for some people, it helps to have help setting it up. But after it's set up, it's not difficult. It's really
And the
not difficult.
templates are great too. But I could
Yeah.
see, like, if I mean, the whole clear thing was overwhelming for me too. Like
Yes,
the
I can
blank
see that.
page, like, where do I put this?
What do
Where
I
do I do
do?
this? I'm not a
Mhm.
computer coder. Like, I
Mhm.
don't know. Like, I know where my lane is, and that is not
Sure.
one of them. So
Mhm.
the AI has been really helpful too.
Yeah, that feature for sure. So, I want to ask regarding your marketing of your business.
Sure.
What are you, so you're networking, are you marketing in other ways too?
So I spent a lot of time on LinkedIn and I recently hired a business coach and that has been a game changer for me just in general is
Tell me.
hiring a business coach. We do a lot of personal development, oddly enough, which I didn't think connected, but it 1,000% does. Yeah, like if you don't believe in yourself as like an entrepreneur and then you go on and you like try to build a business, how do you sell that something if you don't believe in your own self? So I was a teacher for a really long time, and I think teachers are kind of told to just like accept what you're given, kind of like take crumbs and work with what you got. And that creates really feisty people who are innovative and creative, but it also is hard when you become a business owner because you show up to the table and you're just kind of grateful to be at the table. and you don't
I see.
actually know how to talk and be like, "No, I deserve this seat at the table, and
Yes.
let me tell you why."
Yeah.
And that has been a big transformation for me. Instead of just being grateful to be at the table,
Hmm.
I'm like, "Okay, I deserve a seat at the table. We all deserve a seat at the table as long as you're kind and work well with
You're
other
right.
people. Otherwise, go find your own
Yes,
table. It's
yes.
not mine.
Yeah.
I don't want you at my table. I only work with good people."
Yeah.
Um, but that has been a huge game changer. So that transformation with my business coach has been really great. And then he's helped me with marketing too, kind of thinking about it differently. But networking has been great. But as a mom and as a human, there's only
Yeah.
out so many hours in the day. And
Sure.
it's really hard to go to these networking events, especially if they're at night
Yeah.
and like not sure how many people you're going to connect with or
Right.
reach out with. So I've been spending a lot of time on LinkedIn, and we have some amazing there's some amazing LinkedIn coaches and things like that. I know we're an entreprenista, and there's a wonderful woman in there that I've learned a lot from.
Hmm.
And she kind of described LinkedIn as like another room that you can network in. It's another networking opportunity, but it's not as limited by geographic location or time or industry. And it's a way to kind of connect with lots of people and really kind of showing up on LinkedIn. Look, I'm not amazing at it. I'm not like this person with a million followers,
Sure.
but it's allowed me to keep connections with people I've already met or people like I haven't seen in a while, and then also really stay up to tabs with what's going on. So I've been really utilizing LinkedIn in addition to those in-person networking events too.
So when you say you're active on LinkedIn, are you active with cold pitching or DMs or with posting or both?
I do right now a lot of like posting and
Okay.
commenting on other people's.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
kind of
Yes.
engaging in the conversation and commenting that way. I feel weird about a cold DM. I'm going to be real
Okay.
with you.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with it. I
Sure.
just can't do it myself. It
Yeah.
feels
I know
unnatural to
some do,
me.
some don't.
Yeah, and it's not
Hmm.
bad. I don't mind it. People do it to me all the time. But for me, I'm still learning how to like put myself out there. So I haven't done that yet. Maybe that's like the next step, but just kind of
Well,
posting there.
I heard one great piece of advice, which I like, and I will utilize at some point when I have capacity, because it definitely also takes capacity to be going around DMing people. But all she does is she says hello, introduces herself, and gives a free resource. And what it does is just obviously introduces you to that person. So if they like you, if they take a look at it, whatever, they are opening the door for conversation. And I think that's great. Like you're not forcing yourself on them, but you're selling yourself. So it better be good, whatever you're given. But I think that was a great start for
That is a
cold
great
DMs.
start.
Yeah.
I like that
Hmm.
idea. I have to think about a good free resource. I'm working a lot
Yeah.
on the funnel, like that idea of like,
Yes.
hey, if you want to come talk to me, how do we provide services? Because that's a huge thing as a business owner. How do we provide services that are of value at different price points for different people? But the biggest thing is how do we get you to come back? Like
Yes.
none of us want to keep working with clients just one time and like leaving. We want to continue that relationship. There's a lot of effort and development in it. And so
Sure.
I've been spending a lot of time like how do we create systems, packages, services, however you work that create like a returning option for your clients.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if at some point it works with the business to have something on subscription, that's even better.
Yes, that's what I'm working towards too.
Yeah.
What does that
Yeah.
look like? Yeah.
Yeah. So thinking about that toward as well myself. Um, when listening to stories just like this one thing that truly stands out to me is how much clarity and doing what lights you up truly impacts growth. If you're in a place where your business has grown, but your brand or online presence really hasn't caught up, that's exactly what I help my clients refine. You can learn more at ahadicreations.com. What is something that you've avoided for a long time that later worked business wise? You're like, man, I wish I would have just done this earlier because it's really working for me. Anything
Hiring a
that,
business coach. I cut you
okay,
off. I cut you off
you got
there.
it. You knew it. You knew what it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
I mean, look, we're all bootstrapping businesses. A lot of us
Hmm.
are.
Yeah, most.
And I definitely did. And as a mom that runs the household budget, I don't want to spend
Yes.
money I don't have.
Yeah.
So I am year 3 in my business. So I like to think I'm an adolescent. I'm still like learning myself and growing. And I didn't have the money at the beginning to hire a business coach. I was too busy buying equipment and doing all the things that you need.
Sure.
Um, but hiring a business coach has really made me think about what the next steps are and how to grow and scale like intentionally and with the right people and getting help. I think once I get help, that will be my next answer. Like I should have not waited so long.
Sure.
But that first hire, I think, is really scary, and that's kind of where
Yeah.
I'm sitting right now is
Okay.
what do I outsource? Who do I hire? And how do I make sure I hire the right person so that it's not extra work for us? Because that's a tricky situation too.
You're somewhat newer in business, but even in the beginning, if you're diligent, you're making a lot of changes within that time frame. So, what are you focused on more so right now that's most important to you metric wise? Not referring to like views and all these things, but what is your metric? What do you use to measure to say, okay, I'm doing well with what I'm building?
Ooh, that's a good question. I like that question. What is my metric? And it's not like it's not number of clients, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like,
Whatever it is for you to show that,
yeah,
I'm doing good because of XYZ, I'm doing good.
I think this is probably corny, but my metric is like, are you happy with what you're doing? Like, do you wake up happy and excited to do what you're doing? Um, and I think that's important because like last fall, I got really busy with lots of clients and I loved the projects that I did. Don't get me wrong, they were
Uh-huh.
great,
Uh-huh.
but I let my business overtake my life in a way that like that's why I made this business
Gotcha.
so that
Yep,
I
I
could have
understand.
a life. It's not a balance. We'll never have work-life balance, but
Yes.
I think someone said work-life integration,
Yes, I've
and
heard
that
yes,
I love
absolutely.
that. I
I
wish I
agree.
could credit to the right person.
Mhm.
But when I like can sit there and say like, are you happy and do you have space to live? Those are like my two biggest areas. Like I'm the room mom at my daughter's school. She's requested it and I do like all the
Oh.
parties.
Mhm.
And I have space to do that. I have space
Yes.
to braid her hair, which I never
Mm.
every morning I braid her hair. And on the mornings where I can't do it, it's like a thing. Like if I have a breakfast meeting, it's a thing. But it's not every day that I have a breakfast meeting, right? So being able to have that work-life balance or integration is so important. And I think that's my biggest factor. Do you like what you're doing? Do you feel like what you're doing is helpful and contributing to the world in a positive way? And can you still live your life?
Mhm.
Because I think, especially for women, but I would argue for anyone, society has been like, let's go and work, 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 and forget about everything else. And our generation's building something new,
Mhm.
like a way to
Hopefully.
kinda do both. I like to think we're the
Yeah.
pioneers going into the
Yeah.
wild, wild west.
Yeah. Very much so the Wild Wild West. Yeah, we're going in.
It's the wild, wild west. We're going in, we have
Yeah,
no plan, but we're gonna make it work.
we're going, absolutely. Have you made any shifts in your operations that has helped reduce your load or your stress? I know you mentioned you were doing systems or that you're big on systems. I'm big on systems too. Is there anything that you've shifted recently?
I'm still learning that. Like, I
Okay.
think right now I am the bottleneck,
Okay.
and I know I need to get out and not be the bottleneck, and
Yes.
so that's kinda something I'm working on. So I
Okay.
am all about the systems, tell me more. The biggest one I did implement recently, I read a book called The 12-Week Year,
Yes.
which I really, really, really liked. Another entrepreneur came and told me about it. And it's been
Yep.
great because your goals are so much shorter and
Yes.
smaller. And
Yes.
then they allow you to really focus in on what you want to change. So that has been great for me. But I'm all about I'll take all the suggestions on systems. I will read the books, I will read the articles, but that's where I
Yeah.
am right now, is trying to hire and not be the bottleneck and really make it all flow better.
Yes. Yeah, and the 12-week year is good too because when we give ourselves too much time, sometimes we don't accomplish what we need to do when you could have done it in 12 weeks. You didn't need 12, 12 months. Regarding your back end systems, what tech are you using? System, software?
I use HoneyBook and Notion. Those are my 2 big ones, but I know you can utilize HoneyBook in much better ways than I'm
Yes.
utilizing it. That's,
Okay,
like,
okay,
my next lesson. Like,
okay.
I have all
HoneyBook
the
is great.
videos queued. I'm like,
Okay.
"HoneyBook, queue up those videos, show me how to
Yes.
make my life easier."
Yes.
I utilize AI sparingly because I Look, I'm all about the tech and I started in video production and I use like the whole Adobe suite, but it also comes at a cost, right? If we're talking about like everyone using it and how much energy and things that it uses. You can't sit here and be like, I'm never going to use AI. That'd be
Right.
like saying I'm never going to use the internet when it was first
Absolutely.
started. It's not
Absolutely.
a realistic reason, but
Yes.
kind of really picking and choosing when to use AI
Yeah.
and when not to,
Hmm.
so that it doesn't become your thinking source, but a lot of times it can get you started, and save time and utilize time. I think that's really helpful. So I've been using AI to different extents. I'm a co-pilot girly,
Okay.
but I know other people, you have other platforms with
Sure.
lots of success. I just have a friend who works on the co-pilot team, so I'm like,
Ah, you have an
if you
in.
made it, well, I mean, we haven't talked in a while, but when I saw on LinkedIn he was on the co-pilot team, I was like, okay, if you helped make this, you're a good dude. So
Yeah.
I'm here for it. You
Sure.
probably put the restrictions in place on data and all the things
Hmm.
like that. So Notion, Honeybook, Copilot. I use Canva to some extent. I really like Canva, and that's kind of where I am now.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I'll always learn something new if someone's up.
Okay. We're very similar there too. What's something that's harder than you expected in this stage of business for you?
I love owning my own business, but it definitely has been more challenging. The first thing is, I don't think people understand what we do when we say we're an entrepreneur. Like, if you have friends who aren't entrepreneurs, which you should, we
Yes.
should all have like different
Right.
friendships, right?
Right.
Um, but if they're not one,
Yeah.
it's really hard. They'll be like, I don't understand your schedule. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
it's never the same.
Yeah.
There's nothing to understand. Like there's nothing to understand. My husband, he works from home and I work from home most days. And
Oh,
so I have to write on our whiteboard, like, don't come up the stairs.
yes.
I have meetings all day. Or like, because he lives with me and he doesn't
Sure.
understand.
Yeah.
But I like that variety, so that's good. So the hardest thing is kind of explaining to other people who aren't entrepreneurs what our life is like
Hmm.
and kind of our priorities. Um, I think there's just a big learning curve when you start your
Yeah.
business, and there's always stuff that you don't know. And so I feel like that might be the hardest part where like
Accepting it,
everything is
maybe.
new. Yeah, and
Hmm.
everything is new and so my brain gets overloaded and I'm like, can I just have one thing that like I know how to do, but then I guess it's boring.
Yeah. And it
So,
will always change and grow
yes.
and yeah,
Yeah.
it's never ending, especially
So
with the
that's the
personal
hardest part.
development side. With that and people not understanding. So for one, that's why it's so important to be a part of a community of people who do what you do because I mean, and the nice thing is there are free communities and there are paid communities. So as the growth in your business occurs, you can move up to different communities, but it's so important to be a part of one because if someone is not an entrepreneur, they will not sometimes even care to relate to what you're doing. Even if they might have an interest because of your friend in what you're providing to people, all the logistics and all that stuff, like it's just not their world. So I've also learned to not um share details of certain things because if you're excited about, oh my goodness, I did this workshop, oh my goodness, I did this webinar, and they're looking at you like, I thought we were just going to eat. Like, what are we doing? Like, it just kills the whole vibe. It's like, okay,
Kills the vibe.
what are we doing here? Why am I with you right now? So yeah,
And then
like
you
just
get
don't
a buzzkill because you're like, wait, I was really
exactly.
excited about
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And they don't
yeah,
understand it. I think that's really
exactly.
good advice.
Yeah,
I also think you have to make sure you can be in a lot of different rooms. I think you should be okay knowing that, like, hey, I started in this room and maybe that room doesn't fit me anymore when you're talking about entrepreneurs, because there's so many rooms for us, which is
sure.
lovely and great. But you're going to evolve and change.
Yeah,
Like we all are. Our business is going to evolve and change. So it's okay if the rooms that you're in change. But I do think you're really right in that it needs to be. I think about the people I spend a lot of time with. I'm like, these are all people, ironically, that own their own businesses because we can talk about these things together. And then they can help you and you can help them. And the process feels a little less hard. And some of the communities I join are paid communities. Some are small, invite only communities. Some are large, run through chambers of commerce. And I find value in all of those communities. But one thing advice someone gave me at the beginning that I don't do quite as methodically as them, but they have a spreadsheet. of every, like, event or room that they go to, and they chart, like, what was the return on that investment, and it wasn't always, like, clients, but, like, did you get something out of those meetings? And that was really helpful because when our time is limited, it will always be limited. It helps you understand what rooms are the right rooms for you and where you should be, and then it might change and evolve.
Yeah. And I definitely do keep track of what I do too in Notion in a database. But I think that's a great property to add or a column to add is what'd you get out of it, or did you like it? Would you go again? What's the all those things? That's actually something good to add to it. I like that.
And don't limit yourself to, just your industry either. I think that's really
Yeah.
important. I
Yes.
have a friend who, our kids are friends, and, he has, like, an online hat company, and he and I will get coffee, and I'm like, "Tell me all about the systems you use," because he is an outsource extraordinaire, and I'm like, "Tell me all of your things so that I can learn how to do that." And, I mean, he's in retail space, and I sell a service, but that
Mhm.
doesn't mean that we can't help each other too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually regularly listening to I've done e-commerce in my past, and there's the e-commerce coach that I listen to still. For one, because sometimes my clients will have it. So I just like to have the extra knowledge. But yeah, there's something you can take from everything because marketing is
Always.
marketing at the end of the day.
It
So
is, always. And, like,
yeah.
business owners still go through the same struggles. So,
Yes.
e-commerce might have some different struggles, but they still have to outsource. We still have to outsource. We still have compliance issues. We still need legal help. We still need accountants. We still need all of those things.
Yes. Heavy on the accountants.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I can't stand yeah, I can't stand it. Since you are a mom, you've kinda woven it into our conversation already, but whatever you're comfortable sharing, can you tell us what a week looks like for you or a day looks like for you with everything you juggle and how you fit in building the business as well?
Yeah. So I have ADHD and I really learned that I need to time block. So my days are, they all have a specific function. So, like, Monday is a deep work day, and I don't schedule meetings with anyone unless it's an emergency. And
Sure.
I kind of dive into whatever work I need to be working on, whether it's like a strategy plan for someone, whether it's prep for something else. That's my undisturbed, like, working time. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays are my meeting days. So I schedule meetings, whether they're in person or remote. And they're kind of exhausting, I'm not going to lie, because
Yeah.
it's like 6 or 7 meetings in a day. But what I like about them is, like, you're still in that vibe set. I really struggled when when I got like 4 hours to work and then I had to break up for a meeting and then I got like 2 hours to work. Like,
Yeah.
I felt like the zone of genius kind of like got kicked
Okay.
off. So I do meeting days and deep work days. And then Wednesday is like a what do you need day. It, like, shifts back and forth. So if I need to throw in meetings, I can, if it's like an up meeting, or I try to hold it for deep work. And then Fridays, when I can, I do like personal development. So sometimes I usually meet with my business coach on Fridays. I'm a creative human, so I'll try and do some fun stuff too. Like,
Mhm.
I'll go to the art museum nearby, or I do
Yes.
a rest day on Fridays. One
Mhm.
Friday a month, I don't schedule anything and I just
Love it.
rest. Because we have kids and the weekends are not restful. I love them, but they're
Yes, they're
not.
not. They're not.
Um, and so one Friday a month I schedule a rest day, and one Friday a month I do a reflection day where I kind of sit and look at the month and think about, like, what worked and what didn't. And
Love
then in the
that.
afternoon, my husband and I go on a date because babysitters are expensive and so is dinner. So we go out to lunch and we go on a date during like a Friday weekday.
I love that. And it's less busy too. Mhm.
Yes, yes, and he works
Mhm.
from home too, so it makes it a little easier,
So
and his corporation does, like, summer Fridays, so, like, they end work early. Did you know that in, like, corporate America? Like, they do summer some of them do summer Fridays where, like, work ends on Friday at, like, noon.
okay, I've heard of getting off. I didn't know it was like a regular, like,
It's
thing.
in the summer that they
Okay,
generally do it, yeah.
that's wonderful. You
Yeah.
do the lunch dates every Friday?
No, it's once a
Okay.
month.
Once
I
okay,
mean, he
that's
would
still
love it
nice.
if we could do it every Friday.
Okay.
He would like our office in the same room, and I was like, "Sir, I
Oh,
love
that's
you,
so
but I think
sweet.
it is sweet, but I think we would struggle."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's in meetings all day, and so I would,
Okay,
like, be
yeah,
I
it's
had to
not
hear
practical.
everything. No.
Yeah.
But we do have lunch at home sometimes if we both have
It's
meetings that
nice.
allow it, and our marriage has been a lot better now that we that I can make my own schedule. I can like kind of work around, and he has a pretty flexible schedule too when he works from home, but um, we just spend more time together because when you have kids, that's hard. And weekends like are with your kids, so you don't always have you feel bad like leaving them. Um, so we're trying to weave in the date nights where we can. Sometimes it's a date lunch, or this morning we had coffee together outside
I
right
think that's
before I had a
beautiful.
meeting. Yeah,
That's wonderful. And it will pay off for sure. I'm sure it already is.
I think so. Yeah.
Very nice. Well, I appreciate you so much. I would actually love to continue this
I would too. We have
conversation,
so
but
much in common, and no one needs to
yeah.
hear us geek out about gardening,
Yes,
but I will
yes.
be happy to do that with you.
We'll have to do this again.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if you would like to share, do you have anything for our listener to benefit from?
I do. I have a free reflect package. So what that means is you get to spend an hour with me and we kind of sit and talk about whatever obstacles you're facing, any big ideas you have and you don't know how to make it happen, or kind of just what's going on in your business. And then after our conversation, I will send you 4 to 5 ideas that you can implement right then and there. And that's all for you that you can just get started and get that wheel moving. So I have a special link just for your listeners so that they can schedule and
Thank
book.
you. Thank you so much. And we'll have that in the show notes, of course. And if they want to get to know you more, stay connected, where can they find you?
I'm really on LinkedIn. That's where I'm trying to spend a lot of energy, but I'm Jessie Hemmelgarn on LinkedIn. And then if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm at Modern Digital Mom. But I'm gonna warn you, I don't post as much as I should. I can
Okay.
only handle
No
one
worries.
social account. And
Sure.
then we have a website, wonderlinecreative.com.
Okay. Very nice. Well, thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you for having me. This was
Okay.
so fun.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. The links to connect with today's guest can be found in the show notes, as well as all the links that were mentioned and any resources that will benefit you from today's episode. Check out the show notes that you'll find linked below this episode. You can also visit ahadicreations.com, AHADI creations.com/podcast for the show notes as well. If anything resonated with you today, leave a review. Let us know what your takeaways were. What are you going to implement? Be sure to also follow along wherever you prefer to listen to your podcast so that you don't miss the next one with us. Thank you so much. And always remember, together we can build. I'm very much a tea person. I've been off it for a long time,
Oh,
but
I'll have to learn your ways.
start with Ticino.
Okay.
It's okay. So it's a dandelion tea. First of all, dandelions are excellent for you, but it tastes just like coffee, and they come in all the coffee flavors and more. So
Ooh.
that was like someone had introduced it to me around the time where I was trying to like do less coffee, and that's pretty much all you need. Other people, they'll switch to true mushroom coffee, which is different.
Okay.
I think you prefer Ticino over
Okay.
mushroom coffee.
Okay.
um, but yeah, tastes
All
just, and
right.
it's better
I'll
for
give it a
you.
shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it's not great for you. I'm working on less coffee in the
Yeah.
day.
And like the thing is, I mean, I could get on a whole tangent about this, so I will take long. But like coffee itself purely is good for coffee itself, just like many other foods, have just been treated and bounced and splashed with
Processed
all,
and oh
yeah,
yeah.
just so it
I
just
started
gets rid of
baking
it.
my own bread just for that reason
Yes, good. We do
because
that
it's
too.
so processed. Do you make a sourdough?
That is on my list.
That's on my list, but I killed my starter. And so I
No,
gotta get a new one.
I recently, a few months ago, started following two sourdough people. And then I saved on Amazon the book to get to start it. If you need it, I will send it to you.
Okay, yeah.
Um, it's on my list, but I make bread all the time. Every 2 weeks, I make two big loaves.
It's
So
really
yeah,
therapeutic. Like, that's, like,
yeah,
one of my, like, comforting things that I've
hmm
found. I'm like,
hmm
this is something in my business, you can't always see tangent results, like, you can't always touch them. You know they're there, but being able to, like, do something that I can see and touch and be like, "I made that,"
yes.
that's why I started baking bread. I garden too when it's nice outside.
I do too. Stop it.
Ah,
I will
and
be
I learned
adding,
how to use my sewing machine. I'm, like, going
ma'am,
back.
ma'am. I sew as well.
Oh
We
man,
need to listen.
so much to talk about.
Absolutely, and, like, all of these things are good because, like you said, they're therapeutic. Because when you have a business and a children and a family and all these other responsibilities, you need little outlets. And yes,
Yes, and
absolutely,
my therapist asked me, he's like, "You need hobbies." And I was like, "Sir,
absolutely.
when am I gonna make time for a
Have time.
hobby?" Yeah, so I love everything about gardening and baking
Yes.
and sewing.
Mhm.
They're all projects that we can like pick up when we have that
Absolutely,
time and put it aside when we don't. And it feels like I get that hobby time, but I also am
mhm,
being attentive to my business and my kids, and it kind of balances it all out. I love
absolutely.
doing it.
Same, same. Absolutely, absolutely.